showtime! Boogity, boogity, boogity!
Daytona is a racetrack that everybody knows. You recognize the track by its shape, by its name, by its legend, and when your preferred tour comes to the World Center of Racing, your hairs stand on end. Thursday Night Thunder Round 5 from iRacing's Daytona International about to kick off. Brooklyn's Nick Pressey on the pole alongside points leader Jake Bradley in the 5-0. The pace truck is going to peel off. We're going to have 80 laps of action. TNT is about to begin.
Green, green, green.
Let's go racing. Lap number 1 complete, and it's Brooklyn's Nick Pressey to the front. Normally, we'd have Ryan Pennell sitting right by my side. He's taken on a different role tonight. There he is in the number 1-2 Mac Tonight machine. My buddy Ryan sitting to the inside of the points leader, Jake Bradley. And because this is Rick James TV and I have the production skills of a goat, I have a literal goat. We need to update these graphics as we go. There's the point standings coming into this race. JV, Jake Bradley on the outside in the 5-0 comes in with 185 markers to his name, leading Bren Roberts and the number 84 BB&T machine all the way in the back for now, but that's okay. You might see your favorite driver sitting towards the back, not really sure where to go. There's going to be plenty of race over the next 70-some laps, and if you just tuned in, you have not missed a thing. Shout out Ryan Pennell, Lefty, all in the chat, and closing soon as well, who subscribed on YouTube. Emily Seeger's also in the house. So far, so good. 2x2, 15 rows deep. Tommy Withers in that Winn-Dixie 60. I love that car. It looks good. The lights reflecting off of that Ford Taurus behind Seth Wansing's number 9 Nicorette machine. Let's go on board with the Missouri pilot. John Honeybrink, Season 4, Talladega winner, 45.08. That's the purple time, quickest so far in the 2-0 NVIDIA machine. I want to talk to Ryan Pennell really bad in that 1-2, but he's having such a great start to this race. I don't want to screw him up and cause him to have an accident, so we'll leave him alone for now. Cousin Cody on the top side in that gorgeous, and I mean good-looking 2.8. Let's see what this thing looks like from behind. On board with Donald Ray in the 5. That battle box is going to be orange all night long as drivers switch positions and try to jockey back and forth for their respective spots. So far, JB, Jacob Bradley, leads the parade. Out in the top 20, Tommy Withers in that 60 car. The Winn-Dixie machine just trying to hold on to the back, and it's a lot of cars we've got here tonight, so if the old graphics card that I'm working with doesn't hold up, I do apologize in advance. Let me know if it just doesn't add up, and we'll try and make it work for you too. Emily asking, where is Matt Seeger? Looking all the way down into the 20th, now 19th position. Car number 16, that bright green Spotify machine. Just waiting, biding his time, if you will. Being scored in that 19th, 20th position. I'm sure this is half the cars on the sim not being drawn right now. Let's see if we can get a different shot. There, now we can see the 16 from space. We'll be able to see that car pretty much the rest of the race. And car 16 holding his line behind Ethan Winters. Winters, one of the Thursday Night Thunder rookies, he rolls in that Smithfield machine, and then Aaron Edwards in the number 1 Aero Camry. These three ex-ENEA drivers, if you remember when we used to broadcast NASCAR Heat 5, all of them you would see racing in ENEA and now made their way over to Thursday Night Thunder. How about another rookie? Normally in the black and green faded machine. How about purple? And a little bit of reflection tonight as well. I like the flare he's got going on. Chucky Sweeting in that 5-7. He runs in the 18th position. So far up 9 places from where he started. And at the front, new players. How about 3 wide for the top spot? And it's TNT's first French pilot, Alyssa Pelletier-Sharp. She was racing last night at Homestead, and the 18 makes contact with the 29. She's in the wall, contact with the 33. Dale Markowski, 18's gone around. 13 of Vinyakavazzi's been involved, and there's going to be caution number 1, 9 laps into this race. And not the start that Lily Pelletier-Sharp wanted. Dale Markowski also involved. Let's see if we can find where the 33 car sits. Heavy damage to his hot rod. Get a shot of the front here. Yep. And Vinyakavazzi also involved. Where's my man Vincenzo in the Doritos car? There he is. Not looking terrible in that 13, but let's go back and see just what happened. It looked like they went 3 wide for the lead, and Lily Pelletier-Sharp just got the short end of the stick. Watch this. She's already in the wall by this point. Let's see if we can back up one more step, because I think this started even coming out of turn number 2. Watch this. Now at this point, yeah, at this point the caution's already started here. The 18 car is the one we were interested in. Just kind of works her way down. It looks like she works her way down onto the 29 of Briley Wright. See if we can get a glimpse view and watch this for a better shot. The blue and pink 18, 3 wide with the 2-9 of Briley Wright. The 2-9's in the middle. 18 trying to get the side draft and almost trying to follow Richie Catania in the 2-4. And I don't know if Briley Wright just looked intimidated by being in the middle. Have another look at the 29. I think Briley's just trying to stay out of the way of the 2 car. Roll it back once more. To me, it just looks like Briley's trying to stay out of the way of the 2, while the 18 trying to get the side draft. I think this is a racing incident. That's what we'll call it. And the first caution still has Vinyakavazzi from Scranton, PA, minding his own business while apparently there's hydraulics on the pace truck. And Ryan Pennell leads this race. Now we got a chance to talk to this man and see what's going on. See if we can bother him for a quick word. Ryan Pennell, Rick James up top. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
My man, racing at your home track tonight, and normally you'd be sitting next to me, but I didn't want to bother you in these first few laps because I'm wondering, you know, how's the race working out? You're doing so well in these first few laps, man, but you are managing this race beautifully, and now you find yourself in the lead.
Yeah, I decided to stay out. I still have 24 laps of fuel, so I'm not really worried about fuel right now, and I feel like we'll probably have a couple more cautions. But yeah, we were in the top 5. We qualified really well. Honestly, right now the racing's kind of tame. It honestly just feels like we're kind of riding around, which I know most people wouldn't understand that, but it really does just feel like you're kind of just riding in place. So obviously, very strict this week after a, kind of subpar performance last week at Martinsville. So I feel like everybody took the message to heart for sure, because we're all kind of just really being patient with each other and just kind of riding for now. But trust me, it'll get crazy here at the end.
Looks like the lights just went out on the pace truck. We're going to let you get back to work, and hopefully we'll try and find some time to get you to talk to us with the race actually going on, man. But we're going to let you get back to work, focus on the restart, but hopefully we talk to you at the end.
Yes, sir.
Ryan Pennell has won a plate race in Thursday Night Thunder. It was at Talladega. I want to say season 5 or 6 with a last lap pass out of turn number 4. It's one that I'll never forget. And now at his home track looking to win another plate race. However, as much of a dice roll as plate races are, it's one driver in particular. Not Colin McDonough there in the 39. Looks like we went to him by mistake. I'm talking about the 38. Where's that awesome-looking M&M's car? My man Chris Fleming, right here. He has won the last 2 restrictor plate races in Thursday Night Thunder by a margin no less than 3/4 of a second, which, if you know plate racing, is a monstrous gap. What happens is on the last lap of these 2 previous races, there is a crash involving everybody except Chris Fleming. At Daytona and Talladega, he goes to the line uncontested and wins the last 2 plate races. Well, Chris, we'll see if he can go 3rd time lucky. He's got a lot of drivers to get through. Nick Pressey trying to squeeze down on Ryan Pennell, the North Floridian from nearby Jacksonville. A big fan of the Georgia Bulldogs to boot, and ready to restart this race. 12 laps of the scheduled 80 about to be completed. Ryan Pennell with control of the field and points leader Jacob Bradley behind him, waiting for the signal to go live.
Green flag, green
Let's go racing! Up to full song, 14 laps underway at Daytona, and nobody can afford to give an inch, let alone actually give somebody an inch. But look at the space between the 9 of Seth Wansing, the 40 of Elrich George. Everybody really absolutely being as patient as possible. Under that last caution, Landon asking, Riggs took some damage, didn't he? And I think he did. Talking about Cody Riggs in that Budweiser machine, he runs in the 21st position, as a matter of fact. There he is, appearing out of nowhere to no fault of his own. Elrich George in the 40 car, the Bahamian, ahead of Kyle St. John in the double 5. And how about Connor Knowlton by himself with little draft help in car 07, but he manages. And we actually have a discrepancy with numbers. Bryce Saucier in the Nick Pressey 07 and Connor Knowlton, who's being scored as the 19 in the Jack Daniels 07. We're going to get that fixed, and we apologize. But to the incorrectly numbered Connor Knowlton sits ahead of Elridge George in car number 40 at the front. Nick Pressey in the drip die cast machine, trying to win his second ever Thursday Night Thunder race, and he's got big help from his teammate, if you will, in the 07, Bryce Saucier. The Season 4 champion, Thomas Andrews, on the outside of a former TNT winner at Daytona, Briley Wright, in that Sugar Ray machine. He sits third in line. Let's go on board. Everybody turned in their fastest lap that last time around. Ryan Pennell and Nick Pressey still locked together at the front. How about the Hoosier in the Arby's 1-7? Kevin Feemster. He's up 14 places from where he started. Almost everyone came down during that last pit cycle except for a handful of drivers. Matt Seeger, who runs in 30th in the Spotify machine. Did he come in? No, he did not come in. Ryan Pennell did not come in. He's currently leading this race. Let's go back all the way to Cousin Cody in the number 28 Haviland machine. He did not pit either. Different strategies, and drivers expected to go approximately 30 to 40 laps on one tank of fuel. A lot of drafting, a lot of fuel saving is going to be the key. Kevin Feemster in the 11th position, sitting behind Richie Catania in the $1 billion Chevrolet. And if my NASCAR history is correct, I think this paint scheme actually won a race here at Daytona. I don't know the year. Maybe somebody in the chat knows better than me, can tell me the year. But when did Jeff Gordon win in this $1 billion paint scheme? And then there was another race he ran where he won the July race at Daytona. And I think he won, and everybody in America got like free Pepsi. You could submit like a coupon or something. Does anybody remember that? Chat, does anybody know what I'm talking about, or was this a fever dream where Jeff Gordon won a race and everyone in America got free Pepsi? I'm pretty sure that was even the call to the line. Jeff Gordon wins the race, and I think Mike Joy ended up saying free Pepsi for America. That I might be making up. I have no idea, but somebody out there knows better than I do, and they can confirm. Anyway, back to more pressing matters at hand. There's a race going on. We restarted about 5 laps ago, and the race order has not shifted. Still Ryan Pennell at the front. Kyle St. John rounding out the top lucky 13 positions. And at the back, drivers magically appear because my graphics card is garbage. And Cody Pennell comfortably sits behind the 3 of Cody Riggs. Let's go on board with that 2-8. In the iRacing era, no winner of the Daytona race has gone on to win the Thursday Night Thunder Championship. The same rule applied last week to Martinsville, and if you were part of that race, we had an upsetting number of cautions in a league where we are used to running caution-free. So far, just one yellow, which is perfectly understandable in 21 laps of racing that have now been complete. I want to try and have a word with our race leader. We'll wait till he gets onto the backstretch as he's flying at 180-some iRacing miles an hour. There it is. 195 iRacing miles an hour, to be exact. Let's have a word with our current race leader and hometown flavor, Ryan Pennell. Rick James, you got me, bud? Ryan Pennell, Rick James up top. Can you hear me?
I got you, buddy.
All right, man. Not to disturb you here. I don't want to break your focus, but what's the lead like with all of these cars waiting to take over?
It feels good right now. I need a caution here. I got about 11 laps of fuel left, so we took the gamble. We were going to see how it worked, but yeah, if we don't get a caution in the next about 10 laps, I'll have to come down. Probably have to come by myself. So, just trying something different to stay out front, and it worked. We're leading laps. We're getting McDonald's some TV time, so hey, it worked out for us.
The people at Mac tonight are going to be thrilled. Back in 1998, your cousin Cody also did not pit during that caution on lap 7 or 8, I think. Same with Bren Roberts and Matt Seeger. Has anybody else talked about the same fuel strategy as you?
Caution, yellow flag.
No, not
You got
hey,
your
there's
wish.
a caution I needed.
You got your wish. Caution flag is out. Ryan, we're going to let you get back to work and find out just what in the world happened. Well, I guess we put that into the universe and we manifested that yellow, but I'm trying to find out where the caution came out. Two drivers absolutely must have lost it. Just what happened here? And this is my world-class graphics card at work here, trying to find out just what caused this caution. With half the field missing, it's going to be impossible to tell. All right, well, iRacing strikes again. Definitely, I must be running this on way too high graphics, trying to figure out what's going on. I'll see if we can get some of that figured out, and maybe we can draw some more race cars here for you to see. We'll come back in just a second. We'll fix some settings, and we'll get all of this worked out. But caution number 2 comes out at iRacing's Daytona, and Thomas Andrews is briefly leading this race. Let's see if we can talk to him for just a moment. Well, Tommy, you're sitting in 6th right now, not in the front, but it looks like I'm limited by my hardware to see what caused that most recent caution. What happened?
I have no idea. It was behind me. Not sure. I know Riggs kind of said something, and it was around Toby, so he called it. But we're all good here. A couple cautions, but nothing crazy. So
We're looking good. Everyone's having a good time, man. As far as the race strategy goes, are you planning something for just this final third of the race, or is it really just riding around waiting for your next passing opportunity?
I think it's going to be a one stop from here. I was kind of trying to make it on one stop for the last run we had there, but obviously we had the caution, so that kind of threw a loop into it. I think I could have done it, but what are you going to do? Just kind of right now it's going to be track position. Just get up there, try to save your track position, try to stay ahead of any wrecks, and hopefully when you come down pit road, have a clean stop.
Best of luck, man. Get back to work, and hopefully we talk to you soon.
Thanks, buddy.
Fans at home, again, we're just limited a little bit here by how many cars we're trying to draw on the racetrack. So I'm going to take a 60-second break, and we're going to get this worked out as best as we can. We'll see you in 1 minute for more TNT Racing at Daytona. About to throw the green one more time at iRacing's Daytona. Jake Bradley in the 5-0 leads. He will have control of the lead, control of the field with the race lead and the points lead as well. Remember, he's got that fantastic advantage over Bren Roberts in the 84. Pace truck is going to peel off and we're going to resume racing. 26 laps will be complete. Round number 5 will get started once again. Jake Bradley with control of the field, and the green flag is out at Daytona. Still missing half the field. We're going to work this out here. My apologies. I promise you we're going to get this fixed. There we go. Try and draw some of the drivers in the back here. Vincenzo Iacovazzi sneaks right in front of Chuck Sweeting. This is 19th as I see it. Cody Pennell in that 2-8 car, running on the outside of Elrich George. And everyone just trying to hold it together, just trying to survive to the end of this race. 2 cautions so far, plenty of drivers getting tangled up. Austin Mongold in that Viva machine, trying to hold on to this one as well. See if we can find some of these race cars. There's Mongold in that number 4 on the outside of Matt Seeger. Currently being scored in the 18th position. Seeger in the 1-6. Behind Ethan Winters in that 10. Let's go on board with Seeger. Seeger almost losing the line in the 1-6 car, trying to hold on to the back of Ethan Winters in that 10. Drivers almost getting into the wall. It looks like Seth Wansing is struggling to hold it together in 13th. Colin McDonough in the 39 sits just ahead of Seth Wansing. Let's see if Seth can keep it together out of 4. And the 9 car keeps it pointed in the right direction. That 8 car looks awful familiar. Toby Estes in that black Budweiser machine on the outside of Tommy Withers in that 60. Trying to draft a bit closer to his Bluegrass Bandit teammate, if you will. Briley Wright in the 29. Toby Estes in the 8. And Cody Riggs in the 3. All from Greensboro, Kentucky. Living within a few miles of each other. And part of that Bluegrass Bandit team. Tanner Lockhart says, I tuned in late. How has Matt Seeger been doing? Well, Tanner, I'd love to tell you if I could find out where he is on the racetrack. That's 100% my fault. We're learning the hard way that it's a little bit difficult trying to manage so many cars on the racetrack and a pretty good graphics package here. There's Seeger in the number 16 Spotify car. He's behind Chuck Sweeting. And he's been sitting at the back, just minding his own business, taking his time. Looking at drivers like Nick Pressey on the outside there in that 2nd position, still making that highline move, and disorganization at the back. Elrich George trying to stay above the yellow line. Drivers just trying to stay ahead of all of what could potentially be more carnage, more damage, and everybody hoping to keep their race car in one piece for the foreseeable future. We're not even halfway, and round 5 is already weighing on my nerves. 33 laps underway at Daytona. Ryan Pennell in the 1-2 sits behind the 0-7 of Connor Knowlton. Let's try and bother this guy one more time and see what his strategy is after that caution. Ryan Pennell, Rick James up top. You got me again, bud. Ryan Pennell, Rick James. Copy. And we're going to let Ryan focus so he doesn't crash 17 people right behind him. He's going to get back in line. And behind the incorrectly numbered 0-7 of Connor Knowlton, he is being scored as the 19. And again, through no error of our own, for once, the 0-7 Jack Daniels machine is technically the 19. We'll try and get that fixed before the checkered flag flies. And everybody just inches apart. At this point, the race means almost nothing because everything could change in the blink of an eye. Towards the back, you've got drivers like Chuck Sweeting in that 5-7, just minding his own business at the back of this pack. Bryce Saucier, I think that's how you say his last name. I can't be mispronouncing people's names now. The 0-7, down 6 places from where he started, but Bryce just trying to catch back up to Nick Pressey, who's leading that outside line. Richie Catania in the 2-4 started and finds himself in the 6th position. And shout out to Kevin Feemster because we said to keep an eye on him earlier, and look at him now. The 17 Arby's machine finds himself up 21 places from where he started, poised to take second, and he might even have a crack at the lead. Let's go on board with Feem. Again, apologies for any frame rate issues. It's nothing on your end. It's everything over here. Didn't expect this many drivers to show up tonight, and, well, here we are. Now we're entertaining this many drivers tonight. How about the 4 of Austin Mongold, who's entertaining himself with the Wall, the Viva machine, putting some scrapes and stripes on the right-hand side of that Ford Fusion. And Donald Ray now trying to clean up that mess and advance that race car. The 33, Dale Markowski in the Jimmy John's ride. He was involved in that first caution. He moves down to the low line and will now draft with Alyssa Pelletier-Sharp. Let's see if we can go back to what happened and that crash on lap number 9. Nowhere for Markowski to go. Sharp just gets a bootful. Well, in the boot of the race car. And she comes across the wall. Now, the French pilot remains sandwiched between Larry Eberhard in the 96 and the 33 of Dale Markowski. And so far, so good. She has not had any further incident, unlike the 8 of Toby Estes, who's now scraping the Budweiser mobile on the outside wall. And the Bluegrass Bandit will now have to resign himself to the back and may even lose the draft. Let's go on board with Toby. You see the gap to Seeger continues to climb, and that Spotify machine starts to pull away. He hasn't lost Seeger completely, and it looks like he might have a playmate because the 33 car, Dale Markowski, is now gliding all the way to the back. He gets back into line, but drivers are going to have to check up to avoid that crash. And there is the Jimmy John's machine, back up to speed, battling with Donald Ray, and at the front, Seth Wansing in the Nicorette machine. Well, he's in 9th, not at the front, excuse me. He sits behind the 07, and Chris Fleming, our defending Daytona winner, now takes his space behind that Nicorette Chevrolet. At the front, Jake Bradley in the 50, Nick Pressey in the 94. Landon says Briley right to the front. Landon, I don't think that's quite accurate. Wright finds himself in the 12th position. You might be seeing just a little bit of a glitch here. We try to draw all the drivers in the back. What you might end up seeing is all the cars that are visible. So again, I do apologize for any confusion with the timing and scoring. It's nothing that you folks are doing incorrectly. It's everything on my side, because I'm trying to work my poor old PC as hard as I possibly can. We need to do some upgrades over here at Rick James TV, but we will. At the front, JB, Jacob Bradley, still leading this race. Tanner Rex says, was there a wreck out the back? Nope. It's all me. Y'all are doing nothing wrong. Getting a bit dicey, though. Check out Seth Wansing, who is the meat in this sandwich. Bryce Saucier to his outside. The Mac Tonight machine of Ryan Pennell to his inside. Sparks flying on the outside of turn number 1, and everyone holds their breath. Let's go on board with second place in the points, Bren Roberts. Cousin Cody Pennell in the Haviland machine. We saw him scooting back outside of the top 10. He now sits ahead of the double 5 of Kyle St. John. Further on back, you still have, as they magically appear, the trifecta. Aaron Edwards in the 1, Ethan Winters in the 10, Matt Seeger in the 16. As we've crossed the halfway mark, several of these drivers pitted on lap 24. Others pitted on lap 10. The Drip Diecast track facts will tell you they can only go between 30 to 40 laps. Some of the drivers who pitted on lap 10 include Ethan Winters, Aaron Edwards, Matt Seeger. What will they do in these upcoming laps? They have to pit for fuel, and how far will they make it? Nick Pressey leads this race on the outside line, and points leader Jake Bradley still does not give up the fight. Tom Sears from Southampton, Mass, in his Milwaukee machine, leads this race on the outside line. Pressey finally to the low line. I think that's the first time in a very long time I've actually seen Nick Pressey hit that inside line. Tom Sears on his outside has Richie Catania behind him, and Briley Wright third in line in the 2-9, flying the flag for the Bluegrass Bandits, and the Hoosier in the Arby's machine. Kevin Feemster in the 1-7. Taking his time. The majority of these drivers all pitted on lap 24. They should not be due for about another 8 to 10 laps. But when that time comes, where will they go? You saw Cody Riggs just diving to the inside. Elridge George and John Honeybrink behind him. And everyone just trying to scoot, slip, slide, find their own space. Alyssa Pelletier-Sharp. Running behind Matt Seeger at the back of this pack. At the front, we'll shuffle all the way back. Nick Pressey still leads that low line. Tanner in the chat says Edwards, Seeger, and Winters ran for multiple seasons in ENEA, as well as the iRacing Rolex 24, so they'd be looking for those three to make an organized run at some point. They currently find themselves Ethan Winters, Matt Seeger, running 27th and 28th. Alyssa Pelletier-Sharp, Dale Markowski trying to join this fight back here. And again, where it shows them running in the top 20, that's just not accurate. It's not where you're going to find them normally. Let's see if we can illustrate this a different way. Bear with me just a moment. Well, that's going to show us top 23. Let's go back to the top here. We know Nick Pressey's at the front of this one. And there it is. I think it's just a problem because we can't draw enough cars on the racetrack. We'll get this figured out. If it's not one thing, it's another thing on Rick James TV. But the race goes on, and we will get this thing done, believe you me. No cautions for the longest run so far. If you just tuned in, it has been an eventful race, but a fun race to watch so far. We started approximately 45 minutes ago, and the lead, for the most part, has looked just like this. Nick Pressey, Jake Bradley, Richie Catania has kept his $1 billion bronze Chevrolet at the front with Briley Wright behind him. The Bluegrass Bandit sits third in line. He's won here at Daytona before. 30 to go next time by. Chat, let me hear it. Who do you think is going to win this race? Who's got the best shot to come away with the victory? Landon asking if I got a new GPU or something new. No, it's not that I got a new GPU, Landon. It's that we have 31 cars here, and my graphics settings are dialed up so high with the environment. There's not enough graphics settings left to draw the rest of the race cars. So what I need to do is make the grass less pretty so we can see more race cars on the track. As soon as we get a caution, I'll try to get that fixed and back in time for green flag racing, but we'll see what happens. Again, all on my end because I have the production skills of a bag of dirt. We'll figure it out. We're doing all right. The racing is what matters, right? Pressey's at the front. Tom Sears in the 14 on the outside. I want to talk to Ryan Pennell. Where is he hanging out? In the 11th position. He pitted on lap 24. I want to get his insight on where the race is going to go from here. Ryan Pennell, Rick James in the house. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I got you.
All right, buddy. Let's get back to some of this in-race reporting. You're on that inside line with the last Daytona winner, Chris Fleming, behind you. And what has been a running joke has now evolved into truth. If you want a shot to win this race, you got to stick with car 38.
Yeah, he's right behind me, so I'm in a good spot. So I like where we're sitting. Everybody's still just riding right now. We're going to have green flag pit stops in about probably 7 or 8 laps if it stays green. So that'll be the last green flag pit stop we'll have to make. then I think you'll see things start getting crazy. I mean, right now we're kind of just riding. I know it looks a little intense probably from up above, but we're kind of just cruising right now. So we'll see what it does after these pit stops in probably about seven-ish laps.
How much fuel can you save on this run? Obviously, fuel's not going to be is not going to make a difference here for the end of this race, as you'll have enough to go the distance. But is fuel saving really a thing, given how much you have to lift on the track?
Yeah, I'm saving. I probably saved almost a lap on this run here. So it's just, I mean, you just can't really go anywhere. You have to lift to keep from running over, the car in front of you. So yeah, a lot of saving here.
Catania trying to open up a third line, Ryan, but no one's going with him. In that driver's meeting, we did mention that going 3 wide, if it wasn't necessary, don't take the move. It looks like drivers are starting to get more brave as there's more grip in the track.
Yeah, and like I said, I think everybody's kind of just waiting for this last pit stop. And then once that happens, I think the gates will kind of unleash. You'll start seeing some more 3 wide racing. Right now, we've been pretty good so far, just a couple mishaps, but everybody's doing really good out here, and it's been a fun race so far.
Might be wrong, but I think this is the first time we've done in-racing reporting for Thursday Night Thunder. This is brilliant.
Hey, history in the making.
1 week at a time, baby. We keep on writing our own history. All right, buddy, get back to work, and I want to talk to you at the end of this race. Keep it in one piece.
Yes, sir.
My man Ryan, doing his thing. So let's update this while we're at it as well, because yesterday we ran the AVN Champ Cars at Homestead, and because I don't do my due diligence with these graphics, now we get to see that next week we're going to be at Sonoma. A much different environment to where we're at right now, in a much more controlled environment for sure. Nick Pressey at the front of this one, while Toby Estes decides he wants to get some clean air in his black Budweiser machine, and it looks like they might just run into lapped traffic at the front of this race. Trying to see who that is at the front here. And it looks like a 2-car tandem possibly involving Cody Riggs. Or is it Saucier? No, Saucier sits back there in the 07. We'll find out quite shortly. Back up to the front where Nick Pressey resides in the number 94. 3 wide as Pressey gets around Vincenzo Iacovazzi in the 13. Chuck Sweeting in the 5-7. And everybody makes it around the lap traffic, and the 2-car tandem continues. 25 laps to go from iRacing's World Center of Racing. Round 5 in the 10th volume of Thursday Night Thunder. With a quarter to go and pit stops begin. Here comes Nick Pressey moving at a massive speed. Will he get it down? Oh, he's wiggling, trying to get the race car in there. Positions switching everywhere. Drivers trying not to wreck their race cars. Toby Estes makes it in one piece as well. He's trying to get down into his box. At the front of this race, Jacob Bradley sits ahead of Kevin Feemster. Everybody's scrambling now. And if this is going to be the mass exodus from the racetrack into the pit, look at everybody just trying to scramble to that inside line. This could be the final caution, not the final caution of the race, but this could lead up to a caution. I'm excited to see what happens here. 5-0 will lead the parade out of turn 4. Will he come down into the pits? Everybody's coming. Watch this. Oh, who's going to make it? Who's going to make it? There goes the incorrectly numbered 07 right onto the pits in front of Tom Sears. Connor Knowlton evades everybody's contact. The leader, Jacob Bradley, makes it down into the pits, and Knowlton, by the skin of his teeth, makes it through. And there you see Cody Riggs just avoiding disaster. Donald Ray drafting with Chuck Sweeting now. Everyone trying to find their way. Toby Estes in the 0 behind Nick Pressey in the 94. He and Bryce Saucier now drafting along. Pelletier Sharp, she's coming into the pits now. Elrich George will also try and come in. George is moving way too quickly. He's going to drive through the commitment cone. Matt Seeger now trying to avoid damage in that green 1-6. And there is Seeger. He did drive through his pit stop, as did the 10 car. There goes the pit plan. Remember, Seeger, Edwards, Winter in the 16, the 1, and the 10, all meant to pit together. Winters is on his way. Edwards still motionless, Seeger still motionless, and Ethan Winters going without his drafting partners. This is going to mean huge differences for the end of this race, and they have lost their dance partners. Meanwhile, the 07 and the 94 doing the two-step at a comfortable pace. Winters by himself, nobody to play with. How about Bren Roberts and Seth Wansing running second and third? Landon saying there's a lot going on in the last 2 minutes. You better believe it. How about the 38 of Chris Fleming trying to get out of Ryan Pennell's way? He's in the middle looking for a dance partner. 21 to go. This time by Lily Pelletier-Sharp leading this race after pitting on lap 58. There goes Saucier on the outside, and they'll say, I'll take the lead. Thank you very much. Rookie Bryce Saucier, new leader at Daytona.
The yellow flag is out.
Caution is out. Who's crashed now? What's gone on? Yellow flag is out for the third time tonight with 21 laps to go at Daytona. And I'm scrambling, trying to find what cars might have found themselves in any sort of trouble. Caution's going to come out for the third time tonight. We're going to try and get these graphics fixed immediately so we can start drawing some more race cars for us all to see. Fans, don't go anywhere. We're going to take a 60-second break and come back for the finish at Daytona. Lights are out on the pace truck, and while we're still not able to draw the entire field, we're going to bring you everything we can over the last 17 scheduled green flag laps of action. Of course, this is Daytona. Anything can happen in these next 17 laps. Bryce Saucier with control of the field with Nick Pressey on his outside. Toby Estes on the inside in that number 8 machine, and trying some tricks, trying to get the field drawn and everybody visible on the racetrack, but just for some reason, not possible. That's okay. We'll figure this out hopefully next week at Sonoma. Regardless, the racing has been really, really tight. It's been really close over these last laps here. Let's see if we can try one more thing to try and get all these race cars to appear as we need them. Well, and I think I figured out my issue here. Okay. I don't think that's going to make every single difference, but it's a work in progress. It's not an exact science, but we'll get this to work here one way or the other. Bryce Saucier with control in car 07. Nick Pressey to his outside, and we're about to get racing. The next 17 laps could determine a winner, or we might just have some more carnage. The green flag is out, and we are racing again at Daytona. I think we finally got the cars that we needed. Everything is back in a working order. Elrich George in the 40 machine to the inside of Richie Catania. Car 24 on the outside, and there, I think finally, we have our full field. My computer might explode, and Connor Knowlton still has the wrong number on his race car, but we're going to get this to work. I don't think my computer's going to blow up in the next 17 laps. We're going to make this work. You better believe it. Bryce Saucier in the 07 leading with Toby Estes behind him. This is the view from the leader's car. With a frame rate of 6 because we're trying to load so many race cars out here. You live and you learn, right? It comes at a cost. But we're doing good. Now let's see what happens if we try to find the field from Vin Iacovazzi's point of view in the 13. Yeah, again, a frame rate of 6. That's okay. And then Bryce Saucier at the front at a beautiful 60 frames per second. Maybe we can tone that down too to maybe 50 frames per second and see if we can get a better view out the front. We'll make it work. Colin McDonough in the 39 to the inside of Larry Eberhard. That's the fight for the 10th position. Aaron Edwards in the number 1 doesn't have his regular dancing partner. Talking about the 16 of Matt Seeger. There he is in the Spotify car behind Cody Riggs in that 3. And then also looking for Ethan Winters in the 10 machine. There's the Smithfield car. It's hard to pick him out. There he is, now trying to get lined up with car number 1, and the 5 of Donald Ray to his inside. Look at this. Everyone's checking up. Some action is going on up front. Catania in the 2-4 behind Withers in that 60. And it's 14 laps to go. We got a celebrity in the house. Repeat 1975 has graced my chat with his Godfather-like presence. And Pete, you showed up at the perfect time, man. I've been having graphic troubles all night long because, of course, it's me. So, well, never mind. I'm distracted here by the 10 of Ethan Winters slicing down to the inside right behind the 1 car of Aaron Edwards, the Aero Camry ahead of the Smithfield Chevrolet, and Colin McDonough in the 39 by his lonesome. Just trying, look at this, the 1 car slicing back and forth, and this is where it starts to get dicey. This is where things start to get a bit scary. And the man that put me in this game, Repeat 1975. Again, shout out, blessings to your love, to your family, man. Love you all, and I think they're crashing at the back, the 33, trying to hold on to it. and he won't. Caution will come out on lap 68. Elrich George, Vin Yakovazzi, Chuck Sweeting, all involved in this one. And this time, because we can draw the cars on the racetrack, we can figure out what happened here. And this is a pileup into turn number 1. I think it's our 4th caution of the evening. And look at this, it's almost 4 wide. It looks like Kyle St. Jean almost tried going 4 wide, causing this mess. Have a look. Yep, just St. John gets a great draft trying to drive through Seeger, Ray, and the rest. Have another look. Keep your eye on that 55 machine. And we'll slow it down here. You see the 55 of St. John has an unbelievable run. The window's closing between the 5 and the 40, and St. John just gets sandwiched through. Look at this. 4 wide down the front straight at Daytona, and this is the only way that it could end. Dale Markowski also involved in the 33. He almost got away with it. Tom Sears, the 2-time champion, he got involved. See if we can get one more look with Kyle St. John. And repeat subscribing there, scaring the life out of me and putting up my favorite noise. Watch this from St. John's point of view. So we're going to restart inside the final 10 laps, and we're going to keep on tweaking these graphics to see if we can get the frame rate to be a little bit sweeter. Lights are still on atop the pace car. Fans, we're not going to take another break. We're done with those. We're going to keep it moving here, but we're going to try and make this run a little more prettier for you. Give me just a moment. And while we're doing this in the chat, fans, put it in the chat. Let me know who you think is going to win this race. We're going to have a great restart. We'll be back in a flash. Back in working order, and this is what we're going to look like to the end of the race. 9 to go when we take the line. Let's see if we can have a word real quick with Bryce Saucier leading this race. Bryce, Rick James in the house, can you hear me? Bryce Saucier, Rick James in the booth, you got a copy?
Loud and clear.
All right, buddy, it's no secret that you've been dancing with Nick Pressey all night long, and he's going to be your ticket to stay up front, but do you expect him to make a race-winning move when it comes down to it?
I mean, always at FPM, we free range to try to win these races. So certainly I think we're going to try to push to stay together, stay up front, but come off turn 4, I think it's anybody's race.
Who's your toughest obstacle to win?
The 8 car, certainly. He was real strong behind me on that last run. He's been strong all day. Nick's been fast. I think those are the guys that have been up here all day that are still up here. So I think those guys are probably the tightest competition.
Best of luck, Bryce. Hopefully we talk to you at the end. Half a lap to go, and we're going to let him focus on the task at hand. 9 at the line. These are the points coming into this race. Jake Bradley, who leads Bren Roberts by, here comes my horrible math. What's 185 minus 162? It's a difference of 23 points, I think. Bren Roberts finds himself running in the 4th position. Meanwhile, car 50, Jake Bradley back in 14th. Plenty of racing to go, and it's a good thing that we can finally draw all these race cars here like we were having so much trouble earlier. We'll figure it out. We're always getting better. How about some better racing? 9 laps of it, to be exact. Green flag is out, and the win at Daytona is up for grabs now. Let's go racing!
Caution, yellow flag.
And keep your eye on the incorrectly numbered 07 of Connor Knowlton. We'll see what happens. Yellow flag comes out quite quickly. Vin Iacovazzi also involved in the 1-3. Oh, the 1-2, the 17, they're involved. And that's our commentator. That's Ryan Pennell in the 1-2 who got a piece of that one. Roll this one back. I thought the 07, the incorrectly numbered 07, was involved in this one. But it looks like off the restart, St. Jean just tries to go high. And let's talk to the in-race commentator, Ryan Pennell. Rick James in the house watching the replay now of this most recent yellow. Talk us through it.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to see from inside the car. It looked like the 55 just pulled a terrible block. I don't know. I could be completely wrong, but it just seemed kind of silly blocking for 25th. But hey, it's all right. We got a faster pair left, so I'm gonna come down here and get this bad boy fixed up, and see if we can't avoid the carnage and maybe just get a top 15. But yeah, I don't know. What'd you see out there?
I'm looking at the replay now, brother. I see that the 55 of St. John, it looked like he made a really late block, and you reacted into Feemster in the 17. Everybody trying to avoid everybody else, and the 5 getting lifted on top of the 3, and that's what it looked like, just a reactionary block there, and I think it's just the pressure of not wanting to give up positions early after the restart. But like you say, you got a fast repair. We've got drivers that still have a chance, so we're going to let you get back to work and communicate with your drivers, man, but thanks for keeping us updated. I appreciate you, man.
Absolutely.
All right. We got some race cars to fix here as well. I know that I said we're going to get that 07 fixed before the end of this race. The incorrectly numbered Connor Knowlton. We'll see what we can do to get that fixed up. In the meantime, still plenty of racing to go. Repeat 1975 says, Pennell is always a threat to win. And if you remember back to when Cody Pennell made his TNT debut there in Season 4, he always was, indeed, a threat to win, and still is. Let's see if we can talk to this man and find out how he fancies his chances to win this race. Cody Pennell, Rick James up top. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, Rick.
It's been a long time since I talked to you, man. Hope the family's doing well. Hope everybody in Georgia's having a good time. You, sir, have an excellent shot to win this race. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel pretty good about it. Other than I think I've got a little bit of right front damage coming out of the pits earlier. I did not know that there was somebody on my outside, and we made contact. Other than that, slowing me down though. I mean, it hasn't really affected my handling or anything like that. So yeah, still got a pretty good chance to win it. We'll see how it goes. You know how the end of these races go.
Yeah, the end of these races go quite. It's a lot of carnage, and it's difficult to try and rein these cars in because there's so much horsepower, because there's so much you can do right off the jump. I was just talking with your cousin Ryan, and it looked like a late race or a late block is the catalyst of that most recent caution. You're up towards the front, but of course you can't win this race without a dancing partner. The 07 and the 94 are separated for now. Who's going to be your dancing partner on the way to the win?
Well, Nick and Chris and I earlier got up to 204 going into turn 3 earlier in a tandem draft. So if I'm anywhere near these guys, I'm going to try and stick with them because I think we'll be at the front at the end of this thing if we can keep it together.
Fleming's won the last 2. Smart money's on him. Hopefully I get to talk to you soon, man. Have a great rest of the race.
Appreciate it, Rick. Thank you.
Cousin Cody in the Haviland machine to the outside of one of those Bluegrass Bandits, Toby Estes in the Budweiser car. It will be 5 laps to go when they cross the line. Will we have another caution? Will we go green to the end? Who knows? Chat, let me hear it. Caution, green to the end. What do you think? Who's going to win? We know Landon in the house is pulling for Toby Estes. We know some of our Georgian fans are pulling for Cody Pennell. They're also pulling for Matt Seeger. He may be in 17th, but you can't count anybody out of the finish of this race. You just can't. 5 to go at Daytona. If it were me, bet on the rookies. Pelletier Sharp in the 18. Roberts in the 84. Saucier in the 07. 5 laps to go at the World Center of Racing. The pace truck will peel off for what I hope will be the final time, and we get a gorgeous green flag finish to the end. Saucier with control of the field and just over 12 miles to settle it. Green flag is out. Four to go this time by Toby Estes with a huge blink in the 0-8. Everyone trying to scramble and hold on to what they've got. Saucier leads. Doesn't have his draft partner behind him. How about the 2 white cars? The 1-0 Smithfield, the 1 Eero. They get nose to tail. They've got a tandem going on at the back. Who's got your back now? 3 to go. Next time by. Nick Pressey wants to get hooked up with the 07. There goes Fleming. They're crashing. Fleming saved it, but now he's in the wall. Caution is out again. 3-9. The 1. Everybody's involved. Alyssa Pelletier Sharp. I had put money on her. And she crashes again in the 1-8. Her TNT debut may be over. Pressey, Saucier, nose to tail. But they will restart on opposite ends again. 3 laps to go as they cross the line. Undoubtedly, it will be a green, white checkered. Our 7th caution of the night. Not what we expected. Well, not what we hoped for. Cold tires just getting the best of a lot of drivers. This is Pelletier Sharp. She was involved here. This is late in this crash. And this is Chris Fleming after saving the car from bouncing. Take a look. The M&M's car on the outside. Looks like Briley Wright just getting into the 38 of Fleming. The points leader, Jake Bradley, making contact with him. And I want to see this from Briley Wright's point of view. Check this out, car 29. Keep your eye on the gold Sugar Ray machine there. Looks like he just tries to go up the middle. Yep, I think Briley just tries to go up the middle where the window was always closing. Let's dial this back and go on board with car 29. And you can see here, watch the 3.8. The window will close, and there was nowhere where Briley was going to go, and there's the catalyst. How about Colin McDonough flying up into the air? Thomas Andrews also getting involved. Caution number 7 is a big one, and we will restart with 2 laps to go at Daytona. And, well, we almost thought we were going to get away with that one there, but I guess not. So we're going to let these drivers get focused, get back together, and we're going to be back for what I hope, again, will be the final restart of this race. Fans, thank you so much for sticking with me. I've had a blast so far, and I know that it's going to keep on going. We're going to be back for the green flag in the final 2 laps at Daytona. The chaos continues next week. IndyCar Champ Car, the ABN Champ Car World Series will be off next week, but will return the Wednesday after at Barber. Liv Hayward and I will be there to bring you round number 3. The 6th race of the 10th Thursday Night Thunder Championship will be next Thursday right here on Rick James TV, 840. And, of course, Drip Diecast and Collectibles will bring us everything from Sonoma. If you love some of the paint schemes you've seen tonight, like the 8 of Toby Estes, the 28 of Cody Pennell, how about the 29 of Briley Wright? Everybody remembers Jeff Gordon's Nicorette machine. And how about Richie Catania in the $1 billion car? All of these paint schemes and more can be found on Drip Diecast and Collectibles on eBay, your number 1 eBay store for all sorts of NASCAR memorabilia, Drip Diecasts, and Collectibles. If your people aren't here, tell them to get on and watch the last 2 races of this barn burner. Pressy and Saucier will have control of the field. The Brooklyn driver in the 94 will get the jump on the rest, and Toby Estes has to follow suit. Waiting for the flag.
Green flag.
Let's go racing, and let's finish it. Cressy with the whole shot into turn number 1, and Bryce Saucier with no draft help, but Cody Pennell behind him in the 2-8. Single file, 3 cars deep. Saucier now starts to get a run. Your heart's racing now. You can feel it. The anticipation, you're waiting for it. Oh, Toby Estes tries to move to the outside, and there's no room there. Saucier finally gets the jump on the outside. Will he dive down in front of the 94? White flag will come out, this time by the 07 and the 94, blockading the field at the front. Estes has to make his move. He's got to break them up. White flag out, this time by round 5 with 1 more lap to go. Estes in the 8 needs some sort of respite from the block that the 07 and the 94 are putting on the front of the field. They've got to bump draft. They've got to just squeeze, pinch, do something to break up this blockade of the 2 Nick Pressey Chevrolets. 94 leading the 8. Estes tries to force a move to the outside. 07 will not go. Cody Pennell, there they go now. 94's in a wreck. 84's involved. Cody Pennell, 07 will now drag race for the win. Cody Pennell on the outside. Bryce Saucier on the inside. They're going to have to side draft their way to win this one. 07 gets into the 2-8. More contact. 07 continues to smack the 2-8. They will drag race to the line. It's going to be Bryce Saucier beating Cody Pennell unofficially 1/1000th at the line. Bryce Saucier beats Cody Pennell to the line. And Cody Pennell does not look happy with the end of this race. Bryce Saucier beating, banging, and Cody Pennell will drive past Bryce Saucier unofficially your winner in the 07. 1/1000th of a second. The difference at the line. Let's go to the white flag and check it out. Saucier in the 07 on the outside of Toby Estes in the 8. Noah Belleville in the YouTube chat. That is the closest finish in TNT history. And fans at home, I want your opinion on the final run to the end. Now watch the bump drafting here, because this is, you see the 07 of Saucier just pinching the 8 down as well, and let's run this back because I'm interested to see where this move comes through. You see the 07 of Saucier continues to work his way down, and I think that's what starts this. The 8 car of Toby Estes trying to find his way out. The 07 just drifts down into the 8 car. 94 gets caught up in the aftermath. Now watch this. Keep your eye on the 2-8 and the 07. Who's moving in on who? And the drag race to the line, 1/1000th of a second. One more look. And you're going to see Bryce Saucier start to drive into Cody Pennell. Pennell coming down on the 2807. Will come up, make contact once. Look at that. Make contact again. 1/1000th of the line. The difference. And Bryce Saucier on the start-finish line, waiting to speak his piece. We're going to have our top 3 on the podium in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. Saucier, Pennell, Markowski, your top 3. on the podium with our top three after an unbelievable finish. And a lot of contact to the line that ends up with 1/1000th of a second being the difference. But the third place of those three drivers ends up being Dale Markowski in the number 33, Jimmy John's machine. And Dale, you started this race with a wreck, but here you are on the podium. Did you think it would end up this way?
Absolutely not. With the way that I'm not really sure why we were going 3 wide on that first wreck, but it kind of just happened in front of me. But I think I had a little bit of damage there at the end, and sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Everyone just started wrecking in front of me. I just went middle and kept my foot in it and ended up third. I was hoping those two at the front would take each other out, beating and banging like they were. But sometimes better be lucky than good, like I said. So we'll definitely not complain about a third place.
A great bronze medal for you tonight, and then next week at Sonoma, are we going to get to see you do it again?
Probably not. I got a few more races left in here. I'm trying to make sure I get my at least 2 in, but me and road courses don't exactly agree. But I'll definitely get probably at least 3 or 4 more races in for the end of the season for sure.
Always good to hear from you, Dale. Send my love to the family, and hopefully we see you soon. Mr. Ryan, you've got cousin Cody, who finished second tonight.
Yeah, Cody, great race. I was out there. I was running with you there for a little bit up front, but man, what a finish. I wasn't a part of it because I had a wrecked race car, but walk us through your race. You had a good race all night, and tell us about your second place finish.
Yeah, that was a fun one. Like you said, I had fun early in the race up front with you. It's always fun when we get to run around one another. And then I possibly did one of the dumbest things in motorsports history, right next to Mark Martin pulling in on the white flag lap. You did some strategy there on that first pit stop and stayed out, and I was like, well, I'll just do that too. I'll just ride through the pits, and then I just went right over the blend line coming out of the pit and got a EOL. So had to work my way back up towards the front, which honestly made the race a lot better. And then coming there to the line, just 1/1000th of a second too short. But a lot of fun, and congratulations to the winner. That was classic, beating and banging to the line at a super speedway. So a lot of fun, and hopefully be back next week.
Yeah, 1/1000th of a second. Rick, I don't know if you have stats on TNT, but that's got to be pretty close to if not the closest finish in TNT history. That's a sneeze, ladies and gentlemen. That is not a lot of time, but great race, Cody. Appreciate you racing, and I'll be in the booth next week. I'm not running Sonoma.
All right, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
On to our race winner in what unofficially may be the closest finish in TNT history, 1/1000th of a second. Bryce, take us through that last lap and those moves to hold off Cody at the line.
Yeah, when I thought when we got past there, but to end up taking the first yellow and we started on the top, I didn't think the top was really where the race was going to be won from. Then I got caught in the door. They're all drafting each other on the back straightaway. Got turned sideways, I got in the neck, and then that kind of started the whole melee on the back stretch, and then it was just a side draft match and up back to the finish line. And you got it by the slimmest margins.
Coming to the checkered flag, did you know that you'd be turning right into Cody Pennell to get that win?
Not really. I was just trying to not end up on the flat, really. We were almost locked together for a lot of the dog leg there, so I think both of us should just make sure we kept going straight. It was super, super cool finish.
Next week at Sonoma, you get the chance to go for 2 in a row. Are we going to see you there?
I'll be there. I don't know if I'll be going for 2 in a row. Me and road course, I'm not too great on them, so I'll certainly be out there. Don't know how good I'll be doing, though.
We'll see what happens in a week's time. Congratulations on the gold medal. We'll see you at Sonoma.
Thank you.
Fans at home, that does it. What a finish, what a run, and what a 5th round of racing at Daytona. Bryce Saucier winning by 1/1000th of a second after a very physical drag race to win it. And some say that's the essence of NASCAR right there in that short window of time. Unbelievable finish, and I cannot wait for that next race. Sonoma, 1 week from now. we're going to spread them out a bit more, and we're going to see a lot more technicality on the racetrack. I'm ready. I hope you're ready too. For Ryan Pennell, for Bryce Saucier, Cody Pennell, Dale Markowski, and everyone who has had anything to do with a single lap of TNT Racing. Thank you so much. And until that next race, everybody, please stay safe. Do take care of each other. And